Hearing this has to increase your confidence in a car brand, right? This is really the kind of thing where you say, yeah, that's the person to lead this company. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the channel. I'm the Electric Viking. Great to see you. Thank you very much for supporting the channel, for subscribing, and for your emails and your kind words. They're great. They're fantastic, and they really do mean a lot to me because some of the comments are, if I read them, well, I find it hard not to take it personally. So hearing the positive comments really helps to make up for those. And to be honest, some people, I think some people they're angry. Maybe their boss is mean to them, and so they get online and they want to vent at someone, and because they're anonymous, they do it. And they think that, that's okay because there's no real laws against it. I mean, there's no laws against telling people they suck or they're losers or whatever. I mean, so I know that that's why people do it, but at the same time, it is difficult. So that's why I want to say thanks so much for your support, and I really appreciate it. And I do know it's there. And I wouldn't be doing it. Honestly, I wouldn't be doing this without it. Volvo's new CEO, Jim Rowan, is the former CEO of Dyson. Now, you probably know Dyson spent billions of dollars on building and developing an electric car and then decided, nah, it's too hard, it's not going to work, it's too expensive, we're not going to do this. Interestingly, though, even in spite of that experience, the new CEO of Volvo said, when speaking with the managing editor of Automotive News Europe, Douglas A. Baldock, that EVs are the future. There is simply no other way. He even said that if he had it his way, the XC90 SUV, like it's Volkswagen's biggest SUV they make, they're pretty big. They're not quite as big as a Land Cruiser, Toyota Land Cruiser, but nearly that big, will become a very credible next-generation electrified car. And Volvo, a very credible next-generation electrified car company. Automotive News writes that Volvo's upcoming electric flagship will mark the beginning of a shift for the automaker to becoming a truly electric-only one. According to Rowan, the shift to fully electric vehicles will pay off. Moreover, he believes that even though many automakers would rather take their time with the transition, and he's saying they are taking their time and that's what they plan on continuing to do, Tesla has found huge success, so there's no reason that Volvo can't follow suit. Now, I love what Volvo are doing. I love what Polestar are doing. And, even though the truth is they are owned by a Chinese car company, there still is a lot of involvement from Sweden and from the original. So a lot of the employees in Sweden, there's a factory in Sweden, and clearly you can see there's a lot of input from these guys as well. Now, Rowan shares that the biggest challenge will be making it clear that Volvo is a compelling electric-only automaker, and the electric flagship SUV that the company plans to reveal soon is one of the primary keys to making that happen. I actually think that this kind of branding will add huge amounts of credit to Volvo as a brand. I mean, you think about it, right? You can go and spend hundreds of millions of dollars on marketing like Toyota does to try and convince people that, that electric cars aren't in the future. Or you can spend that money developing electric cars that people want, which does what exactly? Well, it makes your brand much higher esteem. I mean, look at the esteem Tesla has. Its vehicles, in a lot of ways, are not really all that luxurious, but it's definitely perceived by buyers, in particular, as being luxury cars. Because why? It's a fully electric car company. So I believe when Volvo becomes a fully electric car company, the perception of their brand image, in particular among young people, and young people are the future, right, will massively go up. Volvo plans to produce electric cars and SUVs only by or before 2030. However, in order to get to that point, it has set a goal of 2025 as the halfway point. I think it needs to accelerate that a little bit. We'll see. This means a whole lot needs to happen over the next few years since Volvo still makes mostly gas-powered vehicles. It happens to offer plenty of plug-in hybrid vehicles, plug-in hybrids, PHEVs, but its electric-only efforts have been limited. They do make them, they just don't make a lot of them. Rowan is confident that Volvo can achieve its goals, though he's clear that every single decision the company makes from this point forward needs to be made with the goals of electricity only, of fully electric cars only in mind. All hiring and all investments must point towards the automaker's electric-only mission. If you're an engineer, right, that specializes in internal combustion engines, or you're a mechanic that specializes in them, I really highly recommend you start skilling in this area. Otherwise, your future, it's not looking great. Despite rival brands like Mercedes insisting that the US isn't going to be ready for a fully electric future as soon as 2030, which I disagree with, Rowan sees numerous signs pointing to the opposite. He references support for EVs at the government level and reiterates that Tesla has proven that this is possible. As for Europe, Inside EVs says there's no doubt about the strong and increasing demand for battery electric vehicles, and many automakers already have been taking advantage of this for years. Rowan sees the transition in Europe and the recent growth of the electric vehicle segment in the United States as clear indications that a global transition is already underway. Now, like me, he's probably seen the fact that there's millions of pre-orders for electric cars in the US alone. Millions. That's enough demand to show you how much demand will be here by the time we get to 2030. I mean, obviously, Europe and China will be 100% electric by then. Then the question is, will the US be? I think it'll be closer to 95%. Now, Volvo's new CEO says that this isn't just about people wanting an EV to save the environment. It's also about finances, economics, logic. He says that there is an expectation with any new technology that it will improve and make people's lives easier and better. He sees it more as the next generation of automobiles than simply electric cars for the sake of being electric cars. Just like when I, show the example of these phones actually cost a similar price. If you include inflation, similar price. So this is the old technology, tiny little screen, buttons, tiny little buttons. It's hard to press them and get them right, with my big clunky fingers. And then that's the new generation. And clearly the new generation has so many advantages. But just imagine, that the overall cost of ownership was, 3 times less owning this one than versus this one. It's a no-brainer. He said, when people talk about electrification, it really is the tip of the iceberg. Yes, consumers that buy an electric car are looking to be more environmentally friendly, well, some of them, but they also expect to get that extra level of connectivity, an upgraded infotainment system, and an overall package that offers more modern features and functionality. One key thing is, I just got a letter in the mail, for my last remaining internal combustion engine vehicle, right before my new BYD Atto 3 electric vehicle arrives. Another recall for my BMW, another one. There's been 3 in the last 2 years. I'm going to take it back to the dealership. Tesla's had quite a few recalls. You know what? Pretty much all of them have just been over-the-air software updates. Ford, lots of recalls lately. One of them right now is, the fire issues they're having with 400,000 internal combustion engine vehicles? Well, how are they going to fix those? It sure as heck won't be an over-the-air update. And that's one of the benefits of EVs. Another one is the fact that servicing is so much cheaper. If it's not, you need to go elsewhere because there's not a lot to do to an electric car to keep it on the road. The other thing is, remember, battery packs, new modern battery packs with LFP batteries in particular, are now promised by some automakers to have a lifetime warranty or to be able to do approximately 1 million miles. That's not just Tesla vehicles, by the way. That's a range of different manufacturers. Rowan goes on to say that Volvo, if it wants to find true success with EVs and be a legit car company in the future, it can't just produce cars that are stylish and have plenty of range, along with good safety and reliability ratings. Now, those things sound pretty good to me. He said the brand needs to find those little Easter eggs and create a wow factor around its future products. He says, talking about the current chip shortage, since different automakers use different chips and different suppliers, it's hard to forecast how it will all play out. However, supply chain concerns have become a constant battle for automakers, especially amid the COVID-19 pandemic and Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Now, personally, I'm not sure that Volvo are really doing enough to electrify fast enough to keep pace with China and Tesla as well, of course. I don't think they are. But their parent company, Geely, they are definitely putting in a lot of effort towards electrifying. However, it's not quite as fast as it appears. They make the car Zeekr, the Zeekr brand, great vehicles, but production ramp-up has been quite slow. It has been quite slow, in fact, for pretty much all of Geely's electric cars. They are, though, in with a bit of a... They are actually in, though, with a pretty significant advantage over some automakers in the sense that they've already got dealerships and a supply chain network in many countries in Europe, the US, and other places. So it will be much easier for them to ramp production and sell more EVs in those places than it will compared to their Chinese competition. However, China is coming fast, so unless they get a move on, then all of Rowan's good intentions may lead to nothing. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again. Bye-bye.